Okay.
Last name?
My name is Firefighter Michael Williams, Public Information Officer. We had several workers pressure washing portions of the roof on the Superdome. They had some type of malfunction with their equipment and it caught fire. Portions of the roof burned and some of the insulation in one of the rain ducts. One worker was injured. He was transported to one of the hospitals, one of the local hospitals, with minor burns to his face, arm, and chest. And this was a 3-alarm fire. So right now the fire is under investigation.
How long did it take for you guys to put it out?
Well, they're still working up there. It took several minutes to put it out because it was burning kind of fast and it was pretty difficult trying to get there.
Do you know how many people were inside at the time?
I don't know. I don't have that information.
Can you talk about how difficult it is to fight a fire up on the roof of the Superdome like that? It seems very difficult.
Well, it is pretty difficult. You know, the roof is on a slant. You're wearing 75 pounds of gear, and it's an emergency situation. So it's besides the fire danger, you also have the danger of falling off the roof of the Superdome.
So you were able to get guys up there, or was it a...
Yes.
Because we saw the water up there, you know, like being thrown up there, but how did...
Yes, it was a rain drain where the water was, where the fire was burning, and the walls were burning. They had some insulation. So the firefighters was able to stand on portions of the roof and also in a rain canal to extinguish the fire.
So you had firefighters going up from the inside?
Yes, from the inside.
Okay.
Yes, and it was pretty difficult because that's a long way to go up there. That's why I went to a 3-alarm, because we didn't know what the possibility of it spreading.
I know it's still early into the investigation, but talk about the extent of the damages to that specific part of the Superdome and the next steps to securing that area, making sure there are no leaks and so forth. Where are we at with that?
Well, right now we're still doing an investigation on how the fire started and the extent of the damage. So that's going to take a little while. We have an investigator coming, and also Superdome crew is going to also be able to check to see the extent of the damage.
So as silly as this may sound, is there a legitimate big hole right now through that area where the fire burned, or is it just on like a layer of the surface outside of the dome?
Well, much of it is the layer of the surface, but I did see a hole. I didn't go up there, I just saw it from the ground. So the crews are going to have to determine just how the extent of the damage.
When you say 3-alarm fire, what does that equate to? How many firefighters?
Well, that's the types of equipment that we bring in, different types of equipment, and a number of firefighters. The fire was in a really inaccessible place, so we needed to have enough firefighters to cover a large amount of area so it wouldn't get out of control any more than it already was.
How many contractors were working on the roof, pressure washing, and doing all the work at the time?
I don't have that information.
When you said that the fire was in a really inaccessible place?
It's on the roof.
Yeah. And so
It's really difficult to get up on top of the roof.
And do you have any estimate as to like the size of the fire? How, like, can you give any kind of indication on that?
No, I don't have that information. Is that it?
I'm just so curious. So the firefighters that were, they actually had to walk up there. They climbed up there. Is that
Yes.
how? Because I'm trying to envision how they got.
Yes,
they
firefighters get in some really strange situations, but that's what we do. That's what we're here for. So whatever it takes, that's what we do.
So were they, I'm sorry, just to kind of back
Yeah,
up your question, so I can visually understand it as well. Were they climbing up flights of stairs to the top, or were they
Flights.
literally climbing up walls?
Flights of stairs to the roof.
I know firefighters are Spider-Man.
Do we know roughly how many firefighters were climbing up there?
We had I don't know how many went up to the roof, but it was approximately 16 or 20. I don't have the exact number.
With your estimate, and I know this is a question we'll probably have to ask others, but just from your initial perspective in the preliminary parts of the investigation, we're expecting the Saints to be back into this building on October 3rd. What can you just guesstimate just by looking at the damage right now?
Well, we see superficial damage. We don't know if there's any structural damage. And the contractors would have to check that and let us know about that.
You don't think it's anything that will stop the team from coming back by October 3rd?
I couldn't say.
You said several workers who were pressure washing. Can you give us an estimate or a range of how many workers were up there?
Well, I don't know exactly how many was working with the pressure washer. It only takes one person to work a pressure washer, depending on what type they have.
Okay.
And that may have been the one that was injured.
Okay.
So I don't know how many were in that particular area at the time.
So several is kind of the best that we can do at this moment.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
yes.
What's the next step? What are you guys, is it done or you're still up there?
Well, we're still doing an investigation and see where the investigation leads. And it just that will determine our next step.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate you very much.
All right.
Thank you.